Hello, Professor Morgan here, talking about, writer's block, the dreaded writer's block. For writers that are out there, it's like, we got this story going, things are happening, and all of a sudden, what are we gonna do? Well, let's talk about it for a second. So, writer's block. Sometimes we're working on something and we are stuck, and I think this is the universal expression for what am I gonna do? I'm staring at this blank page and I don't know what's going to happen and I don't have an idea. Yikes. Okay. And so that's no fun. That's no fun to have that happen. And there could be any number of reasons that happens. I mean, and we could go into the psychology behind it, but that's really more about this video is more about the approach of maybe how to deal with writer's block. So one of the questions I have is sometimes people feel lost. And one of my favorite sayings is lost in the middle of nowhere is better than nowhere left to run, you know. And sometimes when I feel, like I have a writer's block moment, it's like I'm stuck and there's nowhere to go. Well, maybe rephrase that. It's like, okay, well, I'm in a position where I'm not really sure which direction I'm going to go, but at least I have a lot of different options that I can go from. If you change the mentality of it's going to happen, it will happen, that'll help as opposed to, you know, getting in whatever. Now, also remember that writing, revision is part of the writing process. So sometimes you may just, you may get stuck and then you like, okay, well, I'm going to try writing, going down this path. And then with the understanding that you may have to make some changes to get there, but it's a thing. Okay, so let me give an example of not really a writer's block, but kind of a situation that I ran into. So this is my second book called The Waxing Moon. It was a sequel to the first book called The Hidden Sun, and I want this one's it's a young adult action adventure, a little political intrigue, a character driven story, and I had created these characters that I thought were very interesting, and kept putting them into really tough situations on what they were going to be doing. And this is an actual little scene from the book. Okay, so basically, we are trapped again. Serafina said, "We can't leave here for fear of the Rifna Erd." That, yeah. Anyway, and we can't let the Teeler T boil make it to Barawan. You're like, who are the? Okay, don't worry about the. This is all anyway. Also, we are expected to believe these people from Eden. Okay, and you're like, well, this is whatever. It's kind of it's medieval. There's reasons behind these words. Don't worry about it. Okay, but basically, so you have one of the characters saying, okay, she's kind of summing up what their situation is. Okay, and her who she's talking to, his character's name is Snapdragon. Again, there's a reason behind that. Trust me, it really works in the story. Anyway, Snapdragon side. That about sums it up, yes. So, what are we going to do? He thought for a moment before saying, I honestly have no idea. Okay, so yeah, Seraphina and Snapdragon, they're in this situation, and again, if you're when you've read the book, then this will make sense of what all this is happening. But at this moment in time, um, this is me as the writer writing this. I'm like, man, I painted them in a corner, and man, are they stuck, you know? I'm like, how am I going to get them out of this? And I'm like, I have honestly no idea. And I was I left it in the story. I left it in the book as a kind of a little inside joke. So, um, so what did I do? So here's the trick. Here's the trick that it comes to when it comes to at least that it works for me when it comes to dealing with writer's block is instead of just staring at the blank screen, I'll do one of two things. First of all, I will, if possible, I'll step away from the story for a while, maybe be a couple of days, maybe a week or so, to kind of clear my head, And even when I come back, if I'm like I'm still not sure what to write about, I will start to write something, anything, okay? And my kind of go-to is, like the next chapter would be, it was a dark and stormy night. Okay, again, the most cliche opening, whatever. But I'm writing something. It was a dark and stormy night, and Jason was writing this book, and he had put these characters in the situation where they were whatever. So I almost start monologuing. Okay, it's like, he put the situations in where this, they're stuck here, and this, Serafina was talking to Snapdragon, and they realize this is this, and then it's like some of their options, why couldn't they do this, whatever. As I'm kind of monologuing, while I'm in the act of writing, ideas will start to come to me. Okay, if I just sit there and stare at the screen, nothing. Okay. Sometimes, it's like if I get away, maybe an idea will come to me, but it's really, really when I'm in the act of writing that the ideas start to come to me. And this is, there is a reason behind this because our brains like to connect the dots. I am a college professor, and I kind of tell our students, I ask our students, why do you have to write so many papers in college? And there's like, I don't know. It's because the teachers hate you. That's it. Like, no, that's not really it. The reason, at least from my opinion and point of view and experience, is when students are writing a paper, they do a bunch of research. At least they're supposed to. They do a bunch of research, really consider the topic at hand, and then when they have to put it into their own words, their brain is then starting to connect the dots between all these diverse bits of information in their head, and then it starts to express, and that's when the learning happens. The learning, it's not really about the finished paper, it's really about the process of what happens while they are writing and how they are able to connect the dots. And so that's the kind of the mentality of how I approach writer's block is let my mind start to work, let it do its thing, okay, but I have to be doing the writing so it can start to connect the dots. Just so I would say try that, next time you have writer's block and see what happens. All right, thanks.